All right, YouTube, this is Mr. Mean coming at you live from kind of overcast, cloudy Beaumont, Texas. This is a follow up video to The Dark Eye. The guys at The Dark Eye reached out to me after I did my video and Ulysses Spiel. Um, and they were super nice. They gave some nice comments on my video, and they were super cool enough. I believe the gentleman's name was Eric. I apologize if I got that wrong. I'm down here in my living room today. You can see the doggy doggy toy down there in the corner. Anyway, they sent me all the Kickstarter things for me doing a nice review, and I just want to preface this by saying I don't do this to get free stuff. I mean, it's nice if the developers or the guys who make these games enjoy my review and they want to send me free stuff. That's super cool. But I do this for my fun. I don't get to game as much as I would like to. I live in Beaumont, which sounds like a big town, but it's really not, and it's pretty much a D&D town. It's really hard to find anybody to play anything other than D&D. And don't get me wrong, I love D&D. It's what we most of us grognards started with. But I enjoy a plethora of diverse games. I like sci-fi, I like hard sci-fi, I like science horror, I like westerns. Deadlands, a huge fan of Deadlands. And I like alternative fantasy games like The Dark Eye. Um, and the sad part is, I probably won't be able to get anybody in town here to play this. But enough of me, whining about the woes of my life. I just want to say thank you to the guys at Ulysses Spiel for sending me all the PDFs that they had out at the time. That was super cool. And I did get a chance to play. Me and my good friend Brian Isakoff. We connected on Skype, and we did a little intro thing. Brian kind of GM'd, and I did the player. I played the dwarf in here. He's a pre-made character, and I gotta say, man, it was fun. They really cleaned it up a lot. Um, it was a lot of fun. Uh, I had left my clan and I was off on my own. I was doing guard duty. It was just a little impromptu scenario that Bry did, and I fought a giant spider, cave spider, and I hit him so hard he ran away. But he got a good hit on me, but I was able to avoid the being stung by the poison. I did miss him a couple times. We did some skill checks, and if you don't know the game, one of the cool things about this game is when you make a character, it's very in depth. It's not just, you know, spend a couple points, get some skills, roll your attributes, and off you go. It takes a little investment. If you're looking for an in depth RPG that you're going to get a good feel for and you're going to enjoy the game and the game world, if your group, and as a GM, if your group is excuse me, is into that, in-depth storytelling, and but you still want to hack and slash, because let's face it, we all enjoy the conflict of these RPGs and what they provide, and you want a deep, rich world. Man, this is a classic, man. You guys got to pick this up. Um, it's when you do a skill, you roll three dice. They're based on your core attributes, and then whatever your rank is in that skill gives you skill points, and then you can spend those skill points to make your roll. And again, you want to roll low in this game. So if you have a sagacity of 12, and part of the thing you're doing is sagacity, like say you're doing streetwise or something like that, you need to roll a 12 or less on a d20. Well, let's say I roll my d20 and I roll a 15. Well, in Streetwise, my skill is 6, let's just say. So that gives me 6 skill points to spend on the 3 rolls. All skill rolls are based off of 3 of your attributes. And sometimes those attributes would be double. So, for like knowledge, it would be, intelligence, sagacity, or whatever have you. So you might have to make that same attribute roll twice, but it's okay because you have those skill points that you can spend to lower your actual die roll to make the requirement. And then based on how many skill points you have left over, is the success level of the skill. So if you spend all your skill points, you just barely did it. You did it. It wasn't pretty. You got it done. If you had all 6 of those skill points left, then you're awesome. You made a really good success, based on it. And the higher your skill point level is in each skill, it dictates the better the success. And of course, a 1 is always a critical, and a 20 is always a failure. So if you roll 3 ones in a row, that's like earth shattering, and it can happen. I've seen it happen in other games, and I'm most sure anybody that's a fan of this game, they've seen it happen. This book is packed. There is so much in here on the world and everything. I wish I would have got in on the Kickstarter for the Atlas. That would have went a little bit more in detail, but I've got a baby coming, and as the old saying goes, money is super tight, and I have a crap job. I'm hoping to better my working position here soon, but for the baby, this job is perfect because I can work from home and I can take time off and still get paid and things like that. So it's good for that, and again, I'm not whining for lack of funds or anything like that. I'm just stating a fact that I can't just go out and drop $80 or $50 on Kickstarters like I used to, because I just don't have that income anymore. But the cool part is, the guys over at Ulysses Spill sent me the form fillable character sheet. They sent me just their regular character sheet. They sent me a Goblin More or Less, which is an adventure, a PDF of the core rule book, which was phenomenal, Emperor of Thieves, and The Witch's Dance. Now, The Witch's Dance I got when I bought the book, which, how cool is that, man? You go in, you buy a book, you see this, it piques your interest. You're like, oh, wow, I'm going to, this is a cool RPG. I'm going to pick it up. Maybe I saw Mr. Mean's review, and I really want to pick it up. Little self-plug there. But then the retailer owner turns around and gives you Witch's Dance for free. And it's a printed supplement that comes with each copy of this. So if you go to your favorite local game store and ask them for the Witch's Dance, which is an entry-level adventure, it tells you it's laid out really, really well. I won't give anything away. I did read it. I'm going to try to run it in one of the open game days here in Beaumont at the Book Stand, which is our local game store. Hopefully I can get a couple people to play, which would be a lot of fun, because I think this is a great game. But aside from that, again, I just wanted to do the 1 week follow-up that I did get a chance to play. It wasn't in-depth. We played for about an hour or two. Brian and I, we just, like I said, we ran through that little story, and we had a blast. The skill system works really well, and I'll tell you, there's not too many games that invoke that feeling of success or failure. And I'll use D&D as the granddaddy of all. You roll a D20 to search for traps. If you fail, you fail, and the traps may go off if there are traps, and some of the party members may get hurt, may even die, but you're like, I tried, it didn't work. But man, when you roll 3d20, and it sounds like you're going to be, oh my God, I'm rolling all these dice, but it flows, because when you roll that first die and you get a success, that anticipation builds, and you're like, oh, I'm going to track this goblin down, I'm going to find him, and then you roll your next, your next attribute, and oh, I got it, and maybe you just barely made it, or you had to spend a couple skill points, and then you roll that third die and you succeed. It's like everyone is like, wow. So it's really cool. It gives you a real sense of accomplishment, but it also gives you a sense of failure when you roll that die, and it's disheartening in a good way. You roll that first skill check and you roll a 19, and you don't have enough skill points to bring it down to the level you need to. So you've already failed. But then you roll the next two and they're successes. You're just like, ah, man. I mean, there's highs and lows. And if you like that kind of emotional roller coaster in your role-playing games, I do, this is a great game for it. Combat was pretty streamlined. It's a 1d20 roll. So it's very much, in essence, like D&D in that aspect, except, again, you're wanting to roll low and not roll high. So it was phenomenal, man. I mean, I was able to get some good hits on that spider, and because of the way the character is built, and I used the pre-gen dwarf that's in the book, I smacked him with my, these dwarves have their own special axe, two-handed axe. You swing that axe, man, and you know you hit, and it's a solid kathunk. And I mean, I did some damage to that spider. It didn't want any more of that. It tried to run away, and I tried to chase it, but unfortunately, I flubbed my roll, my tracking roll. But I did get. They don't call. I don't remember, and I apologize. They don't call it an attack of opportunity, but it's an opportunistic attack or something like that. When it disengaged, I was able to hack at it, and I got a hit on it again, but it wasn't as awesome as the first hit. So combat works, very simple, very easy to wrap your head around. The skill system is going to throw a couple people, but I would say take your time, read it, hit the forums. They've got a good forum, a lot of nice people on there that explain stuff. Um, Reach out to Ulysses Spiel if something's unclear. They seem really good about communication. So again, I did a review a week ago. I got to play that weekend for just like an hour or two with my friend Brian. Um, the guys really liked the review, and so they sent me some cool swag, which is nice, you know. But again, I just a couple people, not on the comments, but to my face, said, "Oh, you just do these reviews to get free shit." Well, let me tell you, these are the first guys, and I've done 20, almost 30 of these reviews now. These are the first guys that have ever sent me anything. So no, I'm not doing this to get free stuff. And I just, it's the integrity that I have that I feel I have to say something, because those comments, I don't want to say they hurt, but they annoyed me. I'm called Mr. Mean for a reason. My wife will even tell you. I have one feeling, and it's dying of loneliness. But it did bother me, because I'm like, I don't do this to get free shit. I do this because I know I play a plethora of different games, and there's not a lot of reviews out there. I mean, there's Game Geeks, you know, Kurt Weigel, who does. I can never live up to his standard. He's really set the bar. There's another DM Scotty does a couple here and there, but he's mostly on building terrain and little crafting stuff. But he does do a couple reviews. There's the DM's Guild. They do some real nice reviews as well. So, and I'm not in those guys' league. I don't have professional editing software. I turn on my camera and I film it and I babble here for 20, 30, 40 minutes. And but I've got a couple people following me. Some of my videos have gotten over 300 views, which for me is cool. That's nice. And hopefully if these reviews make you go, wow, I really want that game, or that's not, I'm glad I didn't go out and buy it because it's not my cup of tea, then I've done my job. And I, no way, shape, or form consider this a job. I consider this hobby and fun. I've got a baby on the way, so my game time is obviously going to be drastically reduced. I'm 50. I'm not looking forward to not being able to game and play with my friends, but I'm also extremely looking forward to being a new dad again. It's been, 19 years. My son will turn 18 next month. And he lives with his mom in Arizona, and we don't have a very close relationship. And I miss him dearly, and I love him to death, and I hope he knows that. But the flip side is I get to start all over, and in this world and in this life, you don't get too many second chances. So it's nice that I get a second chance. I have a wonderful wife, and she's tickled pink to be pregnant, and she's 43. She's no spring chicken, but she's in great shape. She's healthy, and she has a great mental attitude, and it's part of why I love her. So I'm grateful for the things that I do get to do when I get to do them, because I know there are people out there that don't, and I know there's people out there that pinch pennies way tighter than I do. So if these videos help you and you say, man, I'm so glad I didn't buy that game because my group's never going to play it, then I've saved you a little bit of money and maybe given you a little bit of enjoyment, and that gives me enjoyment. And that's why I do this. I do this for the love of the game, because I love the games. It is a big part of my life, and it's the joy that I get from storytelling and GMing that makes the fun for me. So again, a huge shout out to Ulysses Spiel and the guys at The Dark Eye. You've made a phenomenal book. You've brought some joy, and you've transported me to another world that I've enjoyed thoroughly, and I look forward to enjoying it a lot more when that physical Explorer's Guide or the Adventura book, whatever, I can't think of the name of it right now, but when that comes out and I see it in my local game store, I've already asked her to order it. Hopefully she'll be able to get a copy in, and I'll be able to buy that. So again, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody, and clear up some misconceptions that some people might have whether they've voiced them or not. I just feel like I wanted to say it, and it's Saturday. I'll post this video today, and then I'll go, put a link on my Facebook and everything, and go from there. So as always, if you like and you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. The numbers help, believe it or not. YouTube is always changing its policies, and they're as bandwidth tightens and space becomes a premium. That they're who knows what they're going to do in the future. So it's always nice to have some followers. And if you like the videos, please comment and share. Tell your friends about it. Send them over there. I appreciate all feedback. Constructive criticism is just that. I will apologize if the camera's a little grainy. I'm using my little creative webcam, which it's usually supposed to be a lot closer, but I didn't want to go upstairs and sit up there because I just didn't want to. So hopefully the audio quality sounds fine. I tested it earlier and it sounded okay. So again, I'm babbling. This video is going on a little bit over 15 minutes. So I thank you guys. I hope you enjoy the videos. Please keep the comments coming. And if you get a chance to play it, let me know what you thought. I really, really want to know, because I would like to play this on Fantasy Grounds. If any of you guys out there are Fantasy Grounds people, Brian and I did it. We just did it over Skype, and all we did was we rolled physical dice. And I'm down for that. If we just want to use Skype video and chat, and just physically roll dice. I mean, I think it worked for us. I mean, it was only two of us and it was fun. But I think I don't have I like chucking dice. I know it's nice to play it on the screen and everything, but I rather physically throw those dice. So anyway, this is Mr. Mean signing off from Beaumont, Texas. It's kind of a gloomy day. We're supposed to drop down into the 30s tonight, so it's going to get a little cold. Yay, polar bear. Peace and hair grease, happiness, everybody. I love you guys. And as always, be nice.